Thanks to the support as a channel member, Jack Watson. That's right, Mrs Wearmouth. Today's the day we have a chance to book a spot at Wembley in what I think they're referring to as the big one. Yeah, the Carabao Cup. It's what everyone wants to win. And we've got a chance to get through to that final today. So cross everything. Hello and welcome to part 95 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you. We have that Carabao Cup semi-final second leg away against Birmingham. But before that, we're away against Wolves in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, we've done the first leg of the Carabao Cup, 0-0 at home. Didn't go so great. We are still in the FA Cup, though, which is nice. We've got a fourth round tie at home against Manchester City, which will probably get knocked out. That's why I'm not showing you it, because we're probably going to lose. The Premier League games are a little bit more important. And the Premier League had been going really well. I think you saw... Did we see Birmingham and Everton in the last episode, I think? We then lost to Manchester City, got a win against Leicester. And at that point, I was like, oh, awesome. We're picking up the points we wanted to pick up. And I think we did. I think we were aiming for 3 points before this episode anyway, but we lost at home to Norwich. We were actually 2-0 up in that game, I think, and Norwich got back into it. So that was a little bit unfortunate that we threw away a lead in that game. And then we went away to Newcastle and they just absolutely smashed us, lost 4-0 against them. I'm not reading too much into it. Newcastle are pushing for Europe and we're in a very comfortable position. 28 games on the board after 23 games. Probably more important than that is the fact we're 11 points clear of Brighton, who are at the top of the relegation zone. So I would say 4 more wins. If we pick up 4 more wins this season, we're safe. I think it's probably unlikely we do that against Wolves. Away from home is always a struggle, but we could certainly pick up a draw against them. But looking at the fixtures that we've got coming, home against Bournemouth is massive. At home against Southampton, Brighton, Leeds, Everton. There's 4 more wins in this season, I'm sure. And I'm pretty confident at this point we're not going to get relegated. We'll have to wait and see. Transfer-wise, because it is January, we did have a little bit of money to spend, and we have only spent a little bit of money. We brought Gilberto Carlos in that we talked about before. We've immediately loaned him out to Cardiff. He hasn't played for them yet, but he's going to go and get some game time there. Every time I do that, I get comments from people saying, but Kev, he won't be homegrown now. So I'll remind you again, we have talked about this a few times before. We don't necessarily worry so much about the homegrown status for these new signings anymore. We haven't done since like episode 12 of the series. The rule is they have to be 18 or under when they sign. And if they're over 18, they then have to be homegrown. So the example would be someone like Alex Williams. We were only able to spend that money on a 23-year-old because he was homegrown. So if we want to be able to sell them and bring them back, they need to be homegrown and they have to be 18 or under when they sign. But it stops the development too much if I don't let them go out on loan. We're trying to do a youth development save. In order to develop youth, they need football, and we can't have a squad of 30 players and play them all week in, week out in the Premier League. So these ones like Carlos, who've got potential, but he is way back in the queue. He's like the 5th choice right winger, 6th or 7th choice striker at the moment. If he just sits in our under 23s for 2 years, he will never develop. Sending him out on loan, he's got the chance to go out and develop. We've done it before with the likes of Renan, and it does work. The other players who came in, Kufal, we knew about. He is sat down in the under-23s for now. And the one who's come straight into the first team is Anderson Sebastião, who, I mean, it's 3 right wingers we brought in. Brilliant planning. But he's 3-star current ability, 5-star potentially. Came straight into the team, looked all right, and then got injured immediately. So he's not going to be available for us today. But I have high hopes for him as my current Brazilian that we're pursuing, that we're trying to get something out of. We have got a little bit of money left. I'm not sure that we're going to be bringing anyone else in, just purely because there's pretty slim pickings out there, he says, as an 18-year-old Brazilian is presented to him. But if we actually get through to the scouted players, which is what I'm aiming for, just to show you what we're working with. Obviously, we don't use player search or anything like that in this save. If we're looking for players who are fully scouted, there's not really much in our budget. I mean, someone like him appears and he's like, oh, wow, he does look awesome. And actually, I'm pretty tempted regardless, but he's only 25% scouted. If he's at the top end of this, phenomenal. If he's not, he's just another, I mean, he could be a 2-star potential ability player. and spending the whole of the remainder of our transfer budget on that when he's not fully scouted is just too much of a risk. So we're scouting him further. If he turns out to be good, we've talked about this before, if he turns out to be really good, he's only 17. We've got over a year to decide whether or not to sign that guy if nobody else comes in for him. And if somebody else does come in for him, I often use that as a guide. Like if he had Real Madrid interested in him, we throw all the money at him now, but he doesn't. So I'm less bothered. These are the ones that are fully scouted now. They tend to be the ones that appear on here. So this guy is probably the best of the fully scouted players. We did try and bring him in. We just don't quite have enough money to be able to do it. So he's one maybe for the summer if he's still going to be young enough, which he will be. So we could potentially bring him in the summer when we're going to have a little bit more money. We've got £22 million of budget for next season. So if we decide we want him, we can bring him in then. And there's no one else obvious that I want to bring in now. So we're doing a lot of scouting, and we're going to continue doing a lot of scouting, and eventually we'll start bringing in more and more players again. Well, it's not like there's a rush. There's no point bringing in 10, 18-year-olds every summer because most of them are never going to get to play if we do that. But this is the team for the game against Wolves. Couple of players unavailable. Renan is still recovering from an injury that he's had previously. Sebastião, as mentioned before, is injured. Zapata is injured as well. So Harrison Davies resting because he's got very tired legs, so he's having a little bit of a rest. Cardona's been getting a little bit of a run in the team lately, and so Joe Barr's actually coming back into the side to partner him today. Nathan Curry has passed a fitness test, so we don't need to worry about him, although he is a little bit tired as well, but we'll keep Curry in for today. I'm enjoying McCartan as a left back, so that's one of the reasons to really push for that new right back, because we could just slot him straight in. I think McCartan is my left back, Francis is my backup left back, Curry is my right back, and we don't really have a backup. It's McCartan goes over there. So that Argentinian guy is tempting, but like I say, we just don't have the money to go and get him. So until that changes, there's not a lot we can do. But the team for today is Williams in goal, a back four of McCartan, Barr, Cardona and Curry, Collier and Ali Bassick in midfield, Richards, Roberts and Onyango, then supporting Costabile up front. Where is Kieran Hodgkinson past Kev? He's resting as well. That seems fair enough. We've got that big semi-final, and I know I wouldn't normally be one to prioritise the Carabao Cup above the Premier League, but we're looking pretty strong in the Premier League. I don't think we're going to get relegated. We're definitely not going to be pushing for the top half, pushing for Europe, anything like that. We're just going to have, hopefully, a fairly uneventful nothing mid-table season. So I think we can afford to rest a couple of players and go and try and win something. The Carabao Cup, although it's for the majority of every save, it's like, who cares? It's the Carabao Cup. For us as a newly promoted Premier League team, it's a trophy. It's also a route into Europe. So we are going to prioritise the Carabao Cup. Birmingham, a team we should be able to beat. And then it's just one game at Wembley away from our first major silverware and a spot in Europe. So Davies and Hodgkinson can be rested for that game. For once, I agree with Paskev's questionable decision-making. And hopefully this side should still be enough to come away with a draw against Wolves, which is all we really need from a game like this. It's all we're really looking for. Ali Bassick playing it into Onyango. What a pass from Onyango. Plays Richards in nicely, but Richards can't get the ball past the goalkeeper, but it's a lovely move there. And now Curry's come over to take the slam dunk corner, the in-swinger, looking for Joe Barr, but can't find him. Barr is never going to be the same threat from those set pieces as Harrison Davies. Barr, I think, is only 6 foot tall. He might be a little bit over that, but he's certainly not the enormous mountain that Harrison Davies is, which makes him such a constant goal threat from those set pieces. Wolves have got a counter-attack on here. They are attacking very quickly, very dangerously. And who was that with the beautiful slide tackle? I think that's Cardona. It could have been McCartan. It looked like they had a number 12 on their back. Who's number 12? Pause the game, Kev. Who wears the number 12? It must have been Joe Barr. How tall is he? Barr is, 6 foot tall. So a little bit on the miniature side for centre-back, which isn't a problem when he's playing as the covering guy alongside Davies. But Cardona's just slightly better at doing that job. So Barr, similar to Alec Lay, kind of dropping down the pecking order a little bit, despite for years me saying they'd be my Premier League centre-back partnership. It's Harrison Davies plus a new guy tends to be my first choice from. Nathan Curry's finding himself stuck out on the left side here. If we give the ball away, and Wolves attack down our right, we have a problem. Luckily, we've kept hold of the ball nicely. Costabile playing it into Richards, and this time he doesn't miss. It's Ola Richards with his 7th goal of the season. It's 1-0 to home, and we are good value for it. We've played very well today. Wolves really looking like they're struggling. They're not able to really get the ball out of their own half, and we've kind of camped out outside their area, just waiting for the opportunity to appear, and appear it does, and Richards is there. And that's 10 minutes before half-time. Lovely time to grab a goal. And as it stands, that would put us up all the way to 11th place on 31 points. It's still January, and we're on potentially 31 points. This season going better than I think anyone could have hoped for. But I would always urge caution when it comes to newly promoted Premier League sides. Sometimes you get this because of the momentum that's brought us here, and because of our reputation being so low. The combination of the two sometimes means the AI plays a weakened side, because look at their low reputation. We can beat them easily. It doesn't necessarily take form or league position into account. It does it more on reputation. So we're often playing against weaker sides, plus we have the momentum and the morale from getting promoted, and it's kind of an artificial push in that first season, which can bite you in the backside in season 2 when second season syndrome hits. So regardless of how well this season's going, let's not start thinking that we're an established Premier League side. We are far from it until we get to that third season of being a mid-table team. That's what we're looking for. And Wolves have equalised anyway, so we're not quite in the dominant position we were before anyway. Right, 20 minutes to go. Let's make a couple of changes. Roberts is tired. Adam Blamplate can come on for him. Nathan Curry was tired to begin with, so we'll bring Francis on for him, and McCartan can go over there and finish the game playing at right back. And then who have we got on the bench? Who do we want to... I really want to get Richardson involved, but Richards has been playing well. And we talked about this problem yesterday, the whole issue of playing the two of them together. I guess Richardson could play as the attacking midfielder or even as a striker. I don't really want to do that, though. We've got no one who can come on for Onyango. I said I was going to train one of them on the right, and I haven't. Richards can't play there. Richardson can't play there. You know what? Who says they can't play there? Let's get Ola Richards over to this side, where we'll play him as an inverted winger. Richardson can be the winger over this side. We've seen that Ola Richards is a good finisher, so I think cutting in on that left foot, he could be really dangerous. But obviously he's not going to be very good at it the first time he does it. So it could be the sort of thing that costs us a point in a game like this, because it's now immediately lowering the total ability of our team, which weirdly, again, the way Football Manager seems to work, the fact that we're playing Ola Richards on the right rather than the left and he's less effective there means our centre-backs will play worse, because that's just how the game seems to work. Costabilo's finishing will drop down a little bit now because Richards is playing on the right-hand side. You do seem to get punished as a team for playing one player out of position. McCartan's missed the interception there. Wolves are in, and Alex Williams doing what he always does so well and keeping us in the game with another very good save. Williams has had a very, very good game today as Wolves have got back into this in this second half. It's a headed clearance and Costabile collects, turns and runs, and there are floods of home players charging forward in the centre there. But the Wolves players just come across and clattered him. That felt like a red card incident, but he's not even had a booking for that. McCartan now with the throw. Richardson finds Collier. Lovely cross from Collier. Ola Richards was lurking at that far post but couldn't connect. But he has headed back towards the penalty area. I don't think he's made it into the area. I don't think this is going to be a penalty. The ref's going to go over and check anyway. To me, it doesn't look like Richards ever got anywhere near the penalty area. If we get a penalty here, it's a very soft one. What it is going to be, though, is a free kick in a dangerous area, which could be just as dangerous with all the left footers that we've got in the team who are able to hit an in-swinger from right on the corner of the penalty area. As suspected, no penalty, but someone's going to curl this in. Sure, it looks like it's going to be... Who is that? Who's the number 37? Is that Richardson going over to take it? I need to learn all the numbers. Number 37 is Richardson. Curls in the in-swinger, looking for Collier, but couldn't find him. And it remains 1-1. A couple of minutes left in this game. We came in saying a draw would be fine. If they score here, I'm going to be sad. And we all know they probably are going to score here because it's Football Manager. Yep. if you get a free kick like that as a standalone highlight, you know it's going in. And it feels a little bit harsh to concede the goal as late as we have. We don't want to see it. We'll go attack him. We'll demand more. And our little iffy run that we're having in the league at the moment seems like it's going to be continuing. Ali Basic, who, thinking about it now, could have gone out onto that right wing because he can play on the right wing. Why didn't I put him out there? We've got Grewcock on the bench. I think we've got Akani on the bench. We probably could have earned ourselves a point there by not playing anyone out of position. Ali Basic playing it across to Richardson. There's a little bit of time left. That's a penalty. Surely this time it's a penalty. Costabile is hauled down as the cross comes in. The ref's going back over to the little telly again, but I think we've got a last-minute penalty here. That ball's drilled across from Richardson, and Costabile just went flying. He must have been fouled. If he's not fouled, he's getting a booking for diving here because he went down hard, and it is a penalty. A chance for us to grab a draw from this game. I don't know where their goalkeeper's running from. It's going to be Darren Collier to take the penalty. Perhaps need to set my penalty takers. Although when you don't, it does theoretically automatically give it to the best one. So Collier to take the penalty, and he scores. I always had faith in him. I knew Darren Collier was a top-tier penalty taker. Wolves 2, home 2, with what is almost certainly going to be the last kick of the game. We came here saying a draw would be fine, and we've gone the hard way round, but we have picked up a draw, and that is fine. It puts a stop to the consecutive defeats that we've been suffering from. I think we played pretty well, and hopefully we can now go and book a spot at Wembley against Birmingham with some of our star players who were rested for that game coming back in, freshening things up a little bit. Ali Basic starting is a terrible call. All right, Mark. Mark's on loan to the game from the comments section, it seems. Goodness me, making a note of his name. The Supporters Club spokesperson has retweeted it. Got your number as well, Andrew Evans. Right, we're back pretty close to full strength for the Birmingham game. Nathan Curry's actually suspended, so he's had to drop out. Sebastião Akani Sebastião's still injured. Akani is now injured. So this is what we're going with. A bit shuffled around. Williams in goal. About for Francis, Davies, Cardona and McCartan moving over to right back. Collier and the returning Hodgkinson in central midfield. Then Richards, Roberts, Renan supporting Costabile up front. This is a team that can book us a spot at Wembley. I'm certain of it. This is a strong side. I have been playing Jack Green, when I remember, in the Carabao Cup, but we want to go to Wembley. We go with our best goalkeeper. I know you lot are very much in the Jack Green showed loyalty, Alex Williams left club. Alex Williams is a 4-star goalkeeper. Jack Green's a 3-star goalkeeper. We're a newly promoted Premier League side. Loyalty, don't care. Want the best goalkeeper, please. And Williams is definitely that. There's a ball over the top for Costabile to chase. Costabile trying to get in before the goalkeeper couldn't quite get there. On the goalkeeper thing, I do acknowledge there's a very good chance Jack Green will end up the best goalkeeper at the club and might end up forcing his way past Williams. So that's terrible for McCartan. Really poor. Jack Green might end up our long-term goalkeeper, and there'll come a time where I can be a little bit more flexible and pick him based on his extra potential and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'll go with the guy who's best now, and that is definitely Williams. And hopefully he's about to prove it. Less than 3 minutes on the clock. Birmingham have a penalty. We could really do with a save here, please, Alex. And he doesn't, and it's 1-0. And McCartan, I'm putting that down to him playing right back rather than left back. He's a very, very good left back. He always looks a bit iffy at right back. It's weird because theoretically he's natural in both positions. He's either footed. There's no reason why he should be so much better at left back than he is at right back. But he just always seems to have a bad game at right back. It's an odd thing. And I've still got him taking the throws on the left, even though he's playing on the right, which is probably going to be a problem on this counter-attack. We need to fix that after this highlight is done, because that is going to cause us problems all game long if we let that happen. So set piece takers. He's going to take him on both sides, apparently. You're not taking him on the left today. Francis can take him on the left. Otherwise, we're going to leave ourselves in all kinds of silliness and trouble. Right. I think we need to just drop a little bit of encouragement. Birmingham have had a very strong start, and Birmingham are a poor team this year. And Renan is injured. This isn't going to go my way today, is it? Onyango can come on for Renan. Straight swap, not quite equivalent quality though. And Renan, this was Renan's first game back from the injury he picked up in the last episode, and he's now injured again. Renan is brilliant, but far too injury prone. And it's costing him again this season, which is why I don't want to rely on him as my striker, just continuing what we were talking about yesterday. Right, ball forward, over the top. Cardona nods it back to Williams. Comfortable defending there from him, and back with Davies, and now Williams again. And Williams gives it to Cardona. Someone needs to play the ball forward. Cardona decides he's going to be that man. And Onyango skips past his marker the way... Onyango's the only player we've got in our team who does that. He just gets his head down and runs. The only problem is his end product is so inconsistent. Whether it's crossing, shooting, passing... He's very, very good at dribbling, and that's about it. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to make him a Premier League player. He was a threat in the Championship. Not sure he's going to become a Premier League player for us, though. Not a regular starter. Williams now to Davies. Davies hates turning around. I've noticed that about Davies. When he gets the ball in those positions, almost every time he gives it back to Davies, to Williams in goal. And I guess we're playing him as a no-nonsense defender. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to not be involved in any nonsense. But it does... I do wonder if maybe we should turn off the short distribution. Is there a way to only distribute to one of the centre-backs rather than two? I might have to nose around in the settings a little bit and just give it to Cardona, give it to Barr, give it to whoever is playing alongside Davies, because when it goes to him, he just gives it back to Williams and says, nope, try again. So... Williams needs to smarten up and know not to give it to Davies in the first place. Right, still 1-0. We have livened up a little bit, but it's definitely been Birmingham's half. We're going to demand more as we approach half-time, and I think we're going to have to come out attacking in this second half. It's a semi-final, a spot at Wembley at stake, and we don't seem particularly up for it at the moment. Davies' head's clear, but only as far as the Birmingham player who's lurking on the edge of the area, and their shot is spilled by Williams, and we've given away a corner here when we really didn't want to be giving away a corner. Probably going to be the final attack of this first half. We need to get this clear, and we do, and it's Davies again, dominant in the air, but it's once again gone back to a Birmingham player who tries to get the cross in, and it's gone out for another corner. This one probably going to be the final attack of the game, of the half. It's been a sustained spell of pressure from Birmingham at the end of this half. And once again, Harrison Davies showing his aerial dominance. If there's one thing he does well, it's that. Just heading a football. Very, very good at it. Right, we need to go attack him. And we need to look at what we've got on the bench as a potential game changer to come on. The only one really who I've got any confidence at all in coming on and grabbing a goal or doing something special is Richardson. And the only player I can bring him on for, I guess I could bring him on for Roberts. We'll keep an eye on Roberts and Richards. To be honest, Richards is having a poor game. So we'll give Ola Richards 15, 20 minutes. And if he doesn't do something, Richardson's going to come on in his place and see if he can create something. Did Richardson come from Birmingham? I feel like we might have signed him from Birmingham, actually. I'll double check if and when we bring him on. But Ola Richards now, with the counter-attack. We've got a man over. It's Onyango. Can he show us he's got some end product after all? Of course he can. It's a first goal of the season for Daniel Onyango. Shouldn't have doubted him. It's a lovely finish from Onyango to make it 1-1 and game on in this semi-final. Still 40 minutes to go. Richards did do something after me questioning whether he was going to spot Onyango in space. But all credit to Onyango here. That is a very, very good finish. And that is 1-1. We're going to keep attacking on. It's the second half of a semi-final that's been very, very even so far. Let's go and try and win the thing. We don't want extra time or any nonsense like that. We want to win this match in normal time and book ourselves a spot at Wembley. Right. Richards has stepped up his game a little bit. He can stay on for a little longer. Cardona. Why would I bring Blamplate on for Cardona? There's no sense for that at all. Blamplate can't play centre-half. Right. Roberts is going to come off. We are going to bring Blamplate on for him. Hodgkinson, Grewcock can come on for him, and we'll just do that. That's fine. I know it doesn't involve bringing Richardson on, but Richards stepped up his game. I could have brought Richardson on in there, but I've never played him as an attacking midfielder before. I don't think today's the day to experiment. Blamplate is fine in that role, similar to how Connor Roberts is. They're both fine. Neither of them spectacular, but they both do the grunt work. I get my grunt work done by my attacking midfielder. They're not a traditional number 10. They're in there just to do a lot of running and create space for those around them, and it works. Grucock heads forward to Costabile. If he can get the ball out to Richards, he's in space, but Costabile's trying to go it alone. And if he'd have got that into the back of the net, it would have been a wonder goal. As it is, 15 minutes to go. We've got a corner, and Harrison Davies is lurking. McCartan looking for the in-swinger. Who was that at the near post? That didn't look like Davies. Costabile is the one who's come back to collect and try and keep the move going. Costabile can't get past his man, but he is still hassling the defenders over on that side. Some good attacking play from Costabile there. As we enter the final 10 minutes of the game, we're going to drop a little bit of encouragement and see if we can drag something out of these boys to get them over the finish line. It doesn't look like we're going to. And I think we are destined for extra time, although we have one last highlight in regular time, and it's Birmingham with the ball, but Williams is more than equal to a cross like that, collects it comfortably and distributes quickly and directly to Richards. Richards gives it to Onyango, has brought that down beautifully. Onyango, there's the end product problem though. He does a beautiful piece of skill to get a hold of the ball and then just completely gives it away to a Birmingham player. There wasn't a home player anywhere near where he passed that football. I don't know what he was trying to do. And it's so frustrating because he's so talented. He's just a lunatic. Ball in again, and Birmingham are putting some pressure on at the end of this half, like they did at the end of the first half. We need to be able to defend here, and Cardona lumps it clear. Blamplate just doesn't chase, though, the way I would want him to. Ball forward. Williams has got it again. We'll have the final whistle now, please, ref. We seem to be struggling towards the end of this half. I don't know if we're going to get the opportunity for a fourth sub for extra time. I don't know what Collier's done there. He thinks he's playing rugby. He's just cleared it to touch, waiting for the final whistle, which, I mean, it was worth a try. Blamplate intercepts, gives it to Costabile. Costabile playing it forward to Onyango. It's straight to penalties. Well, that seems a little odd for a semi-final to go straight to penalties, but straight to penalties it has gone. This is going to be tense, isn't it? I hate doing team talks for penalties. I'm not going to do it. Marcus Booth can do it instead because I just don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell him to try and win or take the pressure off or what. He knows better than me. Collier, told you he was a penalty taker. Collier, 1-0. Right, we need Alex Williams to be a superstar here. If I'd have known penalties were coming, I might have brought Jack Green on because at 6'6", he's a much more intimidating penalty shootout prospect than 6'2" Alex Williams is. Costabile stepping up for our second penalty, though. 1-1 at the moment. Costabile, and it's saved. And that's a pretty poor penalty from Costabile. And now we need Williams to put on a masterclass. We need heroics from Alex Williams in goal to win back the hearts and minds of the comment section. He doesn't on that one. It's 2-1 to Birmingham still. And now McCartan stepping up for his penalty. I've seen him take penalties before. They're not disastrous. McCartan scores 2-2, but Birmingham with one extra penalty to take. And we're still looking at Alex Williams and hoping that he's going to do something heroic. Birmingham step up and Williams does save. I mean, it's straight at him. It looked like it still crossed the line. It's a save. We'll take it. Cardona, never seen him take a penalty before. This seems like a bad idea. Cardona scores. Never doubted him for a second. Pressure now on Birmingham. 3-2 to us. They've got 2 penalties remaining. Some fella called Irving stepping up for them. This is where we want more heroics from Williams. And the guy has missed for Birmingham. We'll take that as heroics. And now we know if Sir Harrison Davies, why is it always this man? If Sir Harrison Davies can score this penalty, he books home a spot at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final. And I would not want anyone else in the world to be taking this penalty. Big game moments, you go to that man and he never, ever lets you down. Homer at Wembley. We've got a Carabao Cup final coming up tomorrow. Sir Harrison Davies, under pressure, just rises to the occasion again because he's just exceptional. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.